Oh, no, no.
Eckhart Tolle wrote a book, A New Earth. Why am I telling you that? Well, because this group of people here, and there's very, very diverse, get together every week and talk about life and consciousness. We have a chiropractor, we have a life coach, we have personal trainers, we have DJs, we have a lawyer, a judge, well, a former lawyer and judge. We have a quantum biofeedback engineer or coach or whatever you want to call it, and also a nurse. We have a singer, we have a martial arts instructor, and you're thinking, well, there's only seven. Oh, we also have a cook here. She's going to start her own YouTube channel. You think, oh, how come there's only seven of them there? But some of us do a couple of things. Well, anyway, having said that, we all talk about and basically try and live the way Eckhart Tolle has written the book A New Earth, because the world's crazy, in case you haven't noticed. And if you're still here with us, you probably have noticed and you know what I'm talking about. Today, we're going to be talking about living in peace and joy. Yes, in joy in this crazy time. So, I'm going to start. So, first of all, you want to live in joy, switch off the insane television programming. Switch it off. Now, you might like to watch sports now and again, but really be careful what is going in there, because everything is energy. So I personally, every day, I do my breathing techniques. I'm very, very self-aware. I think about what I'm thinking about, because many years ago I had a realization that the mind is talking to us, and that is the first part of an awakening. When you catch that mind talking as if it's you, because of course it's not you, because you are not your thoughts. And you can start to change your life in miraculous ways, because as I say, everything is energy. Most people now know about the law of attraction and manifestation, but that only happens when you're in the moment, not when your mind is in the past, worried about the future. Everything is energy. What you're putting out, the vibration, you're going to bring back into your life. So bring peace into your life, still the mind, do what you love. So that's just a little start. Now I'm going to open it up to anyone else who'd like to talk about how they bring peace into their lives.
I can maybe open up. I think the major step here is to accept things as they are. We don't necessarily have to agree that, this is something we like, but we accept things as they are. And as an ascended master, you need to kind of stand in the middle of an ice storm and remain calm. So if you're able to know who you are and say and detach with everything that's happening around you and hold that space, then you're going to be an example for other people as well and create a little bit of a calm environment around you as well. And what I noticed recently that I kind of started to work on is to make a distinction between thoughts, which I know majority of them are not mine. Either they come from collective or they're infiltrated somehow into my mind, and the emotions. Because the teaching back in the day was that automatically every thought will trigger an emotion and they're kind of correlated. But now when I think about how I feel about stuff, I come from my heart. So instead of connecting my thoughts and emotions and think that they automatically influence one another, I want to take a step back and see how they feel about all this. What my heart says about this. And then I try to kind of maintain my own inner peace. And I think that's the only way around. Instead of getting all the noise from the outer world, and instead of trying to change the outer world to gain your peace, we need to gain that peace within us first, and then kind of, spread it around. And it's very, very important in near future to remain calm, to be able to be strong and take anything that happens, because if we think that distraction was big and we needed to use discernment in the last 3 or 4 years, that was nothing comparing to what's waiting for us, because in near future confusion will amplify beyond we can imagine. It's going to be very, very, very important to know whether information you get or spiritual teacher you follow or a person you talk to is actually taking your energy and or making you feel good, because discernment is going to be a key in, because the truth is within us, and in every given point of time the best place to look for answers is within ourselves, and then gain that peace, accept things are the way they are. We don't necessarily agree with them, but our job here is to transmute and alchemize energies. It's no longer time to ignore things. It's no longer time to even think positive and say, okay, so I know this is happening. I won't ignore it, but I'll turn it into a mantra and say, yeah, this is a blessing, so I'll think positive about this thing. No, those days are gone. Our job now is to transmute everything that comes our way. If there is an agenda or something is planned to happen, we know about it. Our job is how do we transmute that and create something different. But in order to do that, you have to understand that, yes, the world is a little bit crazier than you would want it to be, and to remain calm and centered and use all of your powers to transmute everything that is around you.
Thanks, Mira. So true.
And I also think, like, how do I find peace? I had a situation today where one of my managers didn't respond to a very important situation, but I saw on Messenger on our teams that she read, yet she didn't respond. And I took it, oh my God. I turned it into like, I'm gonna get fired. She hates me, and I caught myself, but where I found peace I said, okay, that's okay. You're a human being. You have to think good thoughts. You think good thoughts, good things come to you. And my peace was catching myself, and instead of saying, oh, Sarah, you know better than that, it's like, okay, Sarah, you felt like that. You were a little bit anxious for a few minutes, insecure, whatever. I didn't turn it into a story. I just accepted that I did that. It's okay. I don't have to be perfect. And I was like, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay that you thought like that. And that's how I was. And that feeling of like, oh, she hates me, it just disappeared by just being kind to myself, I guess, like saying, I don't have to be perfect. And it's okay. In meditation, my mind wanders off. It's recognizing that my mind went off and bring it back to continue. That's where the peace comes in. Like, not, oh, you've been meditating for 20 years. What do you mean you no, it's okay. It's my new motto. It's okay. It's okay. Everybody repeat, it's okay.
Fabulous point, Sarah, because if you're going to be offended by anyone, you haven't got your peace. You can't change how anyone else acts. That's a great point, Sarah. Thank you.
I'll distinguish the world into two parts. There's the natural world, and then there's the man-made world. Only the man-made world is crazy. And as Sarah was saying, it's all the mind. It's all the mind, all the thoughts about it. And you watch television, as Carl was saying, what you're going to get is opinions and beliefs. It's not facts. It's opinions and beliefs. And everybody has different opinions, different ideas about this, that, and the other. The world is fine. The natural world that we are a part of, our whole system, is created magically and miraculously. How we're made, how beautiful we are, how perfect we are. And that is life. We can feel the life force within us. We know we're alive. Life never dies, and life is perfect. That's who we really are. So that's a way of keeping peace, is to distinguish between the artificial man-made world and the natural world that we're a part of. And it's all taken care of. Whatever that power is, whatever that wisdom is that is running the universe, is running us. I call it life.
Colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, but also on the faces of people watching by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, "How'd you do?" And I know you're listening to you or me.
I love you.
I love you.
Thanks, Alan. Thank you, Alan. What was that, Jane? Would you like to say something?
Oh, I was just singing the song. But yeah, for me, I think inner peace is so important. And I think as human beings, we are part of the creator. And we have this free will and the ability to create our own experiences. So to me, inner peace is like when you're happy. And there's so many things that ruffle and are challenging people, circumstances. Um, And we always have this choice. Do I want to get involved in it? Is it going to cause me happiness, or is it going to really disturb my peace? So as you guys were talking about the awareness and the thoughts, it's like just catching yourself. And before getting involved and spiraling downhill or losing your inner peace, once you catch yourself, it's so much easier to maintain that inner peace. And inner peace can just be sometimes, you know you're right, but deciding not to participate in an argument. And that can give you tremendous inner peace, at least for me. And just, of course, walking in nature. And just once I decided that everybody is a part of me, and we're all here to expand our consciousness. Everybody is just having a beautiful experience. That peace, it sticks onto you, and that decision to stay in peace becomes a lot easier. So I think it's the frame of mind. Sí, que será.
Whatever will be, will be. The future is
future's
ours to
ours
create. Honestly,
Que será.
Sarah.
Thank you, Jane.
You're welcome.
I was gonna say that peace I think comes in stages, because as a kid growing up, we're not a lot of, well, I can't speak for everybody, but for myself, a lot of, especially in North America, it feels like we're really surrounded by ego and mind. Commercials, beer commercials, car commercials, you got to get this, you got to get the job, you got to do this and do that. And so you spend all this time accumulating, chasing knowledge, going to university, doing all this stuff that you think is going to bring you happiness and peace, and then it's always destination addiction. So I'll be peaceful when I'm done university and I have a good job. And then you realize, no, I didn't like that job that I went to school for, and I'll be peaceful when I retire, and then I'll have time. And so it's always a, somewhere in the mind at a different destination. So peace is actually in the present moment. And that's really the thing to do. The difficult part for me was, at least I'll speak just to myself, is being present in the moment. Because if you've had a tumultuous past, you can start looking at that and, why did I do that? Why, if I'd done this and if I'd gone left, then I wouldn't be here, or I wouldn't have got fired. And so all that stuff can really, really, you can get on the hamster wheel of thought. So I think peace comes without thinking, and just being present in the moment, and being okay with outcomes, and not being attached to our expectations for the way we think the world should show up, because we don't really have control over the way the outside world or other people react. And I think, as Alan and Jane have mentioned, that everybody's going to have opinions, and each one of us, even though we're all friends and we're all connected and we all have these discussions each week, we all kind of have our own unique perspective. We're not by any means have the exact same viewpoint. And that's the beauty of it, because it would be kind of boring if I was looking at the screen with 6 other Robs all saying the same thing, like it was a mirror. So it's wonderful to have to have the peace and allow other people to show up as they are, and, like Jane said, other versions of yourself. And so for me, peace was really, you get to a point when you're you like make room by removing. I think I mentioned that. And so taking things out of your life, because we accumulate all this stuff, and then it's like, you're juggling all these balls, and it causes stress, and you're out of peace to keep them all up in the air. So, maybe we have to take certain things out of our life, certain friends, certain behaviors, certain movies, certain drugs or foods, all those things. And so, it all adds up, and then eventually, I think you can, like Carl mentioned, what we focus at, that's where our attention goes, the energy flows. So the boundaries you create for yourself also bring you peace, because if you're going to go looking for war on the news, that's what you're going to find, and it's going to take you out of peace. So if you set the boundaries up for it and say, I'm not focusing on that, I'm not watching it, I'm not entertaining that, it doesn't exist in my reality, then you can't tell me that it does. So, there's lots of ways that you can focus on that and just go after what you love, and learn to live in the present moment from the heart. And I think that's it only took me 40 years to figure that out. So if you can do it sooner, good luck.
Life
I lo-
is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans. John Lennon.
I just wanted to add something to it. To be at peace, you have to be at peace with yourself first. And as you mentioned, Rob, like when you think at certain events and you ask yourself, why have they done this or that, you will notice that many people who go through difficult situations, they kind of struggle a little bit to forgive someone else. And they say they completely forgave that person and everything is fine, but they're still down, they're still depressed, they're still not happy about it. And the fact is that it doesn't matter whether they forgive someone else or not. The fact is that they have to forgive themselves, because everyone usually subconsciously blames himself, herself for allowing that to happen. So, you subconsciously are guilty for allowing that person to hurt you. So you have no problem forgiving that person, letting that person go, but you're still depressed about it. And because you don't even think about forgiving yourself. And that's the most important thing. That's the most important thing, to love self, be at peace with self, and forgive yourself for everything. And that's when you can truly move on and be at peace with yourself. And then it's easier to be at peace with the world as well.
Yeah, that's a good point, Mira. I know it's kind of like radical forgiveness, and when that type of forgiveness is forgiveness beyond forgiving the other person. It's really forgiving yourself for having the low emotions of could be that anger or that hate or whatever, but you created suffering for yourself because the way you perceive the certain situation. And obviously we all come in with our family programming, and come into a culture, we come into a country, we come into watching certain television programs and going to certain schools, and cheering for certain sports teams, or it's all programming. And and we think, oh, you got to be right. And when you really realize, instead of trying to be right all the time, we could try to find that inner peace much easier. And again, bringing back Eckhart Tolle, Carl, the other book that comes to mind is The Power of Now, and being more in the present moment. And I like being in the present moment in the natural world, going out in nature, and nature is a great example of just seeing how everything works, and seeing the abundance in nature, and it's all just filled with natural systems and love and abundance, and everything is working together. And then you realize that it's interesting because they were saying, when you look up nature in like a dictionary or something, the nature is everything except for the human but beings and the technology and stuff that we make. But really, I think we're all connected, we're all part of nature. But we do, especially as human beings, I think we should include ourselves in nature.
Absolutely.
And everybody had a lot of great points tonight, so I was really glad to be part of this call. Very interesting.
It's funny, as we're all talking, I'm just thinking about something like, my brother-in-law's got an Apple Watch. Well, you probably know people who have Apple Watches. They tell you everything, right? your heartbeat, this, and you can go jogging, he tell you how many steps, and he tell you everything. They don't tell you when you're talking to yourself, which is the most important thing, right? Someone should invent one. So if anyone out there wants to invent one, please, you got it from me. But what you can do, you can be self-aware, and every hour catch yourself. Oh, I'm thinking about that same thing again. Insanity, right? Keep on thinking and thinking and thinking. But anyway, thank you, guys, and hopefully, if you're still with us, you're really on the path. And tune in. We're here every week, and if you ever want to be a guest on the show, just write me a line, drop me a line, drop me an email on the YouTube channel. So thank you for watching, guys, and thank you everyone for being part of it. Be the
Love you all.
fish you want to see in the world. Be the change.
Live an awakened life, everybody.